oriented programming chapter, and today we will continue it. We will see some more features of object oriented programming.
Okay.
So let me open
How
notepad.
many topic is left for us?
After this,
Mm-hmm.
2 to 3 chapters.
Okay.
Okay, so
Can you show me the 2-3 chapters left?
yes, wait a minute. Read model.
You have still not sent me the notes. You said you
Oh,
promised to send me yesterday.
wait.
The one for Wednesday, the one for Tuesday, the one for
Yes,
Wednesday.
combined. They are combined together. Don't worry. The
Okay.
complete chapter. Okay,
Okay.
perfect. So we have got, after that, we will see data migration, enhancement, and smart forms. Okay,
Okay.
so let's continue today's session. What we have discussed till now, we have discussed usual ABAP class, which we built in SE24. Then we saw local classes in ABAP programming. Now, let's see some more features. Let's see some more features of OOPS concept. So,
After this course, will I be able to work as an ABAP developer?
definitely,
Okay.
if you would have revised everything clearly, then you can work. No issue.
Yeah.
So, one feature we have is inheritance. Okay, inheritance. Same thing. It is just an English word. What is the meaning of inheritance? That is inheriting something from our parents, right? We
Yes.
inherit lands and all the properties.
House.
Also, we inherit some genetical features from our parents.
Yes.
Same thing is here. What we can see, inheritance is creating a subclass from the parent class. Inheriting a subclass from the parent class. So the concept of inheritance allows us to derive new classes from the existing class. Then inheritance allows a class to inherit attributes and methods from another class. Okay,
Yeah.
inheritance allows us to a class to inherit attributes and methods from another class. Now in ABAP, what you are going to see in ABAP, we will use inheriting from keyword to specify the superclass or parent class from which a subclass will inherit. Subclass or child class will inherit. Okay, this is inheritance. We will use inheriting from keyword to specify the superclass, that is parent class, from which our subclass or child class will inherit some property, right?
Mhm.
Then a topic related to inheritance is a final class. What is final? Final is something that is final, right? Not
And
last end. So if a class is final, it simply means it cannot be inherited. Okay, a final class is a class which cannot be inherited. A final class is a class which cannot be inherited. So in ABAP, you can mark, we can mark a class as final using final keyword in the class definition. Okay.
Okay.
Then third point is a final class cannot be subclass, meaning cannot create subclasses that inherit a final class. So we cannot have a child class of a final class. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see how the concept of inheritance actually works. Okay. So I
Okay.
will open my SAP logon. I will open my logon. SAP, yeah, logon. This is my local class, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the class that we had created. So let's remove it. And my structure, select option, perfect. Now I have a usual ABAP class, right? I have a
Mm-hmm.
usual ABAP class that I have already created. This is a usual ABAP class. Let's inherit it. Okay. So how I am going to define the inheritance? So class, child class. I will create a child class for it. So child class definition and inheriting from. I told you inheriting from keyword is used to inherit a parent class from the child class. So I
Mm-hmm.
will pass the parent class here. This will be my definition. Okay. This
And
will be my
class.
definition. Let's see what is going to happen. I'll click on syntax check. Please read this error.
The final class cannot have any subclasses.
Okay.
The final class ZMI underscore usual underscore abap underscore class cannot have any subclasses.
The reason
That's
is if you will go to the properties of your usual ABAP class, can you see this final checkbox? When we
mm-hmm.
were creating our usual
Final.
ABAP class from SE24, by default it is marked final. So we
Yes.
will have to make it, we'll have to remove it, then I will activate it. Now I will go back to my code. I will check for syntax. Can you see there is no error?
Mm-hmm.
Now I will activate it. So let's go for start of selection. Let's create a object for this child class. Okay, let's create an object and see the beauty of inheritance. Data hello object is equal to new keyword, my child class. Then what I will do, just see what is the meaning of inheritance. I can acquire all the properties of my parents, right? This
Mm-hmm.
child class will acquire all the properties of its parent class. What is the property? Can you see we had defined a methods? We had defined a
Mm-hmm.
method for this parent class. So now what I can do, I can call this method directly with the object of child class. Just see, I can call it So I'll go for pattern. Look, ABAP object patterns. In it, I will pass the object name. Then I will pass the class name. What is the class name of my child? Child class. Child class. And then I will pass the method name. Let's see if it is working or not. Uh, Employee details. See, this is the way to call everything from SE24. Okay, we had defined our
Okay.
child class locally, that is why it is not calling. No issue, we will call it from our program. So hello object, my name of method, employee details, and I will pass exporting. So exporting keyword, p employee id is equal to my s employee id, also pass the bracket for select option. Then I will pass importing also. Importing, I will give my lt employee and I will import it in my internal table lt employee. Perfect. Let's check for syntax. There is no error, right? Then what I will do, I will display it. So do you remember our CL demo output class?
Mm-hmm.
Display. So display, I'll pass my internal table. Let's see if it is working. This is again a class, Michael. At that time I told you. Now can you relate it? This is a class. This display is a static method. That is why we are passing employee that sign here. And in between it just requires a internal table to display your data. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Execute it. Execute it. Can you see we are able to get the output?
Yes.
So what is the beauty of inheriting? We are able to inherit. We are able to inherit all the properties. Just see here. What I did here. This is the object of my child class, right? This is the object of
Mm-hmm.
my child class. And this using this object, I am calling the method of my parent class. Did I define any method inside the child class? No. Did I
No.
have defined any methods inside the child class? No, I haven't defined it. But what I am doing here is I am directly calling the method which has been defined in its parent class. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing you can do. This is how we are inheriting global classes in my local. Now we can also do one more thing here. We can define our own local class. Let's say class parent definition and class. In this end class, I am defining public section. So public
Mm-hmm.
section. In the public section, I will define my methods. So let's say methods, employee details, same thing, employee details, importing p employee id of type. What was the type? Let's go and bring it from here. This is my table type for employee id. Then I will go for exporting uh, lt employee or lt table of type. Okay, send it out.
No doubt.
So now I can have implementation for this class. So let's define the implementation part because this is a local class. So class parent implementation and class and then I will have my method name. So method employee details followed by and method, and in between I can write my logic. So select employee id, my employee name, department, my column of manager from my table into table lt employee where employee id as employee id, right? This is
Yeah.
a query. No doubt, no error. Activate it. Then here what I can do, instead of inheriting from parent, now I can inherit directly from this local parent class. Okay, I'm inheriting from this one. This has got a method, employee details, same method. Can you see employee details?
Yes.
Then what we are doing, the exporting it is a expecting P employee ID. So I'm passing my select option, and then in importing it is passing LT table. So I am passing here LT employee. So let's change it to LT table. Then I'm importing it in LT employee. Now let's see if it is working or not. Execute, execute. You see the output, right?
Yes.
So we are able to display the data, inherit the feature of both the parent, which is in local, or either it is in global. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But but if you will make it final, if you will make it final, if you will make it final, you will not be able to inherit. Can you see?
Okay.
This is
Since it's
how
final, to not be able to inherit from it.
we will not be able to inherit from it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So final classes cannot be inherited.
Inherited. Inherited.
Object
Okay.
oriented programming completely based on real life. Then we have some more properties of object oriented programming. Third one, abstract class. Abstract class. What is abstract class? So in ABAP, an abstract class is a special type of class that cannot be instantiated. Read it clearly. Cannot be instantiated. First thing, that is we cannot create a object for it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cannot create a object for abstract. Instead,
Mm-hmm.
instead, it serves as a blueprint for other classes. Instead, it serves as a blueprint for other classes. Now, third point, it is a special type of class which has at least one abstract method. It is a special type of class which has at least one abstract method. So what you are going to see here, Michael, that an abstract class is a special type of class in which we cannot create any object. We cannot create any object of abstract class. Now
Mm-hmm.
just to understand it, let's take an example. I am writing, let's say I have created a template. Okay, let's say I have created a template for four wheelers. Four wheelers. Now can I say in this template I can have bus? Can I say that in this template I can have cars? Can I say that in this template I can have truck? Right?
Mm-hmm.
All of them are four wheelers, right? We can have multiple wheels also, but mostly all of them are four wheelers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what this abstract class is doing here, that so this template, there is no actual object of this one, but instead we have a bus class, right? We have a
Mm-hmm.
bus class which is inheriting the feature of this template four wheeler,
Yeah.
right? Now using this bus class we will create our bus object, right? We will create our bus object. This bus will then a lot of people will sit inside this bus, and they will be able to travel from one location to another. Using this car, we will create car object, a lot of cars, right? Using this
Mm-hmm.
car class, we will add some more feature. We can create like a Lamborghini, we can have Audis and anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just adding some more properties in them. But are they indirectly inheriting the property of four-wheeler? Yes.
The same thing, same four-wheelers.
Are they inheriting the property of four-wheelers? Right.
Yes, they are inheriting the properties of four-wheelers. Yes.
But are we directly creating any object of four-wheeler? No,
No.
we are not creating. So this is how your abstract class works. That we do not create any object of it, but instead it serves as a blueprint for other classes.
Mm-hmm.
Using this, we will you inherit this feature into the bus class, into the car class, into the truck class, or any other class. So
Mm-hmm.
it is a special type of class which has at least one abstract method. Now, what is this abstract method? What is this abstract method? What is this abstract method? So, abstract method is that method which has which has only definition, and there will be no implementation. Abstract class is that method which has only definition, and there will be no implementation. Now see the beauty of it. Let's say I am creating a method inside this four-wheeler. Let's name it something. Method. Okay. Method speed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A simple method I'm creating. Now what I can do, since there is no definition for it, right? There is no definition for it. In the bus, I can define speed equal to, let's say, 40 kilometer per hour or 60 kilometer per hour. Kilometer per hour. In the car, I can define it 100 kilometer per hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
100 kilometer per hour, meter per hour. Then in our truck, I can define it speed equal to, let's say, 40 kilometer per hour. So this is a method. There is no definition inside the four-wheeler, but all these things are directly inheriting these four-wheelers. So what I can do, according to their requirement, I define their speed. According to these classes, I define their speed. So abstract method is that method where only we will have the name of the parameter importing, exporting, and changing, but there will be no implementation. Only definition part will be there. So
Mm-hmm.
every abstract class will have at least one abstract method. Okay.
Okay.
So now what we can see, that we cannot create objects of our abstract class. We cannot create object of our abstract class. We cannot create it. What else you are going to see? We can create objects of subclasses of abstract class. Okay.
Okay.
What is the meaning of subclass? Child class. Okay. Abstract
Mm-hmm.
classes. You can create objects of subclasses or child classes of abstract class. So this is abstract class. Now we have one more property related to it, which is polymorphism. Do you know this word, polymorph?
Yeah, I've had it. It's been a long time.
Okay, no issue. Let's see. So polymorphism means many forms. Many forms. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Polymorphism means many forms. It can be any form. That is, let's say I'm defining a method area. Okay. Let's say I'm defining a method area.
Mm-hmm.
Area method. Now, when I'm calling this method inside square class, okay, square class. So can I say area is equal to side into side, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm calling the same method in the rectangle. Can I say the area is equal to length into breadth?
Yeah, length and breadth.
These are simple things, simple things. Just try to relate everything with your real life. It will become easier.
Mm-hmm.
Rectangle. Then if you go for triangle, can triangle. Can I say that area is equal to zero point 0.5 or half into base into height, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this method is one thing, only area, right? But is it behaving in different ways at the different places, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is just a single method, but it is behaving differently in a square, it is behaving differently in rectangle, it is behaving differently in triangle. Same
Mm-hmm.
concept is here, polymorphism. Same concept is here, polymorphism. So polymorphism is a characteristics of being able to design a different behavior or value in a subclass to something that was defined or declared in the parent class. So now what I am going to see that, let's say my father was uh, very soft in nature. Okay, his nature is very
Mm-hmm.
soft, uh, and then then this behavior, when I inherited, a little bit modification was done, and my nature is soft, but also I get usually angry. So this behavior, the nature, is acting differently both in parent and child class, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is a characteristic of being able to design a different behavior or value in a subclass. Okay, different behavior or value in a subclass to something that was already declared in the parent class. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
same thing. This area was defined for some purpose here, but when it went to its child classes, it has started to act in different ways. Okay,
Okay,
is this concept clear?
it is clear.
So let's take a requirement so that we can understand the importance of this both abstract classes and child classes. Okay, let's take a
Okay.
requirement. So a very important requirement I'm going to take to explain this thing. Requirement. So my requirement is, we will create a abstract class. We will create a abstract class in which we will define a method display, or okay, abstract method, it will be more okay, display. Is it simple?
Yeah.
So what else we are going to see, then we will create two child classes. Okay, then we will create two child classes. Then we will create two child classes for this parent class. Then we will create two child classes for this parent class, and in first one we will implement method to display employee details. Okay, employee data. And in the second one, we will implement to display the project details. Okay, achieving same kind of requirement in different manner and understanding every property that is there, right?
Yeah.
So third thing, we will also create two radio buttons for this thing, two radio buttons, and we will display data based on these two radio buttons. Okay, when I will select first one, I will display employee data. When I will select the second one, I will display the project data. Object oriented programming. Okay, let's get to our logon. Let's create our class now. Now just see how abstract class and polymorphism both are working together. So SE38 abstract class. Go for create, understanding the concept of abstract class and polymorphism. The type, I will go for executable package. Now let's start creating the structure. So let's bring it from some previous programs. Let's bring it in model pool 1. I have got this structure, employee and project data. Let's bring there. It's not something difficult, right? Creating our structures. Then we will bring our let's see if we have got select option. Where is my select option? No issue. Let's define it. Data, a variable, LV employee ID, type data element. And we will have select options as employee ID for variable of employee ID. And let's create two radio buttons. So parameters PR1 type C, radio button group R1, and then PR2. These things we have discussed in detail manner, right? Type C, radio button group R2. Activate your program. There is some error. Yeah, group can be different, cannot be different. Let's make them one, R1. So now go to text elements and give some name for them so that it will be easier for us to understand from selection screen. So employee display employee data, and for R2 I will give the name here as display project data, and for this one I'll give the name here as range for employee ID. Activate, get back. This one is pretty simple, right? We have seen it a lot of times. Now let's go for our abstract class. So I'll give here a class. I'll give here a class parent definition abstract. and class, and class. Now in between, what I will do, I will define my abstract method. Public section, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the public section, I will go for methods. This is my requirement, defining method name, display, an abstract method. So
Mm-hmm.
methods, display, and I will mark it abstract. Abstract method. Okay. This is the abstract
Okay.
method. That is, there will be no implementation for it. Otherwise, if this is not a abstract, you will must have to give a implementation. If you will go here, if you will go for syntax check, what it is saying, no implementation, right?
No
It is
implementation.
hoping, yeah, it is hoping for the implementation of method display. So you will have to go give here a class parent implementation also. But if you will
Okay.
mark this method as abstract, no need for implementation, because abstract has no implementation. It is just a name. Okay,
Okay.
it is just a name. So it is just a name. Then I will go for child one, class. Now just see the beauty of it. Class child one, definition, inheriting from parent, inheriting from parent, and class. Then what you will do in the public section, you will have to redefine the abstract method. Always redefining is mandatory for abstract methods. Okay,
Redefining it.
so we will redefine it. So methods name is display, right? Name
Yeah.
is display, name should be same, so name is display, redefinition, redefining it. Then I will go for implementation of child one, so class child one, implementation, and class, in class. Now in between I will write my logic, so method one, display, and method, and in between you can write your query, so select employee id, employee name, department, manager, from your table name to table lt employee, where employee id in semp id. Okay, pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check for syntax, no error, activated. Then I will go for another child class, class child 2. Just see what is going on here. Class child 2, definition, inheriting from parent. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and class. Again we will have to redefine our method, right? Because that is
Mm-hmm.
an abstract method. So public section. Now in the public section, I will go for methods, display, redefinition, redefinition. Okay. Then we will go for implementation. So class child 2, implementation. Go for end class, and class. And in between, you can define your method, display, and write logic for it accordingly as you want. Nobody is going to stop you. So select employee id, project name, from your table name into table lt project, where employee id in semp id. Okay, simple. Activate it,
Yeah.
no problem. Now do you want to just see what is happening? This is a abstract class, this is a
Mm-hmm.
this is a four-wheeler class, right? This
Yeah.
abstract class, what I am doing, I am using this class one time to display employee data from child 1, then I'm using the same class to display child project details data in child 2. So the same thing, bus class for bus features, car class for car features, but indirectly they are inheriting the feature of four-wheelers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now go to startup selection, create your object. So data, let's say I'm giving the name LO employee for employee object is equal to new child one keyword, right? Child one class name. Then for data, LO in project hello project is equal to new child 2. Very simple, right? Then we will check our radio buttons, right? If radio
Mm-hmm.
button 1 is true, then we need to display employee data, and if radio button 2 is true, then we need to display the project details data. Is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if r1 if r1 is the name of, sorry, pr1 r1 is equal to true, that is x, what I will do, I will just call my employee method. So hello employee, using hello employee, I will call my display method, right? Display method
Mm-hmm.
will load data. Display method will load data. There is some issue. Okay, no issue. Employee method will load data in LT table, and I can display it. CL demo output. CL demo output. Display, and in it I will pass my internal table. So LT employee. Then else if PR2 equals to true, I will go for project data, hello project, display, then I will go for CL demo output, it's display method. If it is true, I will display LT project data, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if syntax check, activate. Now just understand the code. We defined the structures, we defined their following internal tables, we went for select options. Then I defined my abstract class. This cannot have any object, but I am inheriting features in two child classes, child 1 and child 2. Child 2 is redefining this display abstract method and it is displaying employee data. Child 2 is redefining the same display method and it is displaying the project details data. Then in startup selection event, I am creating the objects and then I am calling these methods to display the data. Is it okay or not?
It's okay.
It is okay, right? So now I will go for execute, give some entry 105, first employee data, right? Now
Yeah.
select the project one, it will display project details data. Can you see?
Yeah, I can see it.
Is this something difficult? No, it is just logic. You must know
It's,
how to build logic.
I
The
must know how
concept,
to.
yes, we
I
are
must
using
know
abstract
what.
class.
You
Logic
said what?
building, uh, logic building is something you can only get via practice. You will have to practice day and night, again and
Okay.
again. This will
Mm-hmm.
improve your logic. How would I know it? Because I have done practice, right?
Yeah.
Then what? Just see polymorphism. Just see the beauty of polymorphism. This is a display method. It is behaving differently in the child 1 class and it is behaving differently in child 2 class, right?
Mm-hmm.
In child 1, it is displaying employee data. In child 2, it is displaying project details data. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
what can you can see this area, it is displaying square area, it is displaying rectangle area, it is displaying triangle area. So it is displaying the same kind of, it displaying different kinds of data based on the requirement. So the same method behaving differently in different classes. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is the concept of your polymorphism. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
polymorphism is the concept of abstract class and polymorphism clear?
Yeah. So I have to revise it again.
Definitely. Then interface, interface, interface. This is the one or more property of your object-oriented programming. So similar to abstract class, an interface is a blueprint for a class. An interface is a blueprint for a class. So in interface, by default, all methods are public and abstract. All methods. Can you see the difference between interface and your abstract class? In abstract class, we should need at least one abstract method.
One abstract method.
At least one abstract. But in your interface, all methods are by default abstract. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
is the, what is the meaning of abstract? That is, there is only definition, no implementation. No implementation. Is this thing clear? No
Mm-hmm.
implementation. Now, do you know the difference between abstract and static? Sorry, abstract and interface. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's create and let's see how we can create our interfaces. Same to same requirement. Let's create our interface. Interface. Interface in ABAP. Object oriented ABAP. Executable, package, and TR. So what am I going to do is I will create a interface. Okay, I will create an interface and I will show you how we can create our interfaces. So let's get
Okay.
back to our previous program and let's bring the structure from there. Class. Let's bring this structure. Let's bring the internal table
Mm-hmm.
and select option also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now define the concept of interface. So it is a blueprint for a class. It is by self a blueprint of a class. It is just a blueprint. Okay, just a blueprint. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot create object of it. Can you create a object of four-wheeler? No. Four-wheeler is
No.
just a blueprint. We can create object of bus. We can create object of cars. This is how everything is designed in real life. Same feature, object-oriented programming. Same concept.
Okay.
So here, what I will do, I will define my interface. 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 And I'll define name employee. Interface employee. We will only have definition, no implementation. So here, no need of public section because by default, all methods are public. No need of public section. We can directly go for methods. Okay. So I am defining, let's say, method display. Nothing new needed. You can have, if you want, you can create here, you can pass parameters also. Importing the employee ID, type data element. Where is the bloody data element? Let's go and see AC24. The data element, we have already used it, right? So parameters, copy. Then we can have exporting parameter also. Exporting LT table, type data element. So type element. Is it clear? Check the syntax. There is no error. No need of
Yeah,
any
it's clear.
implementation. No need of implementation for interface. Only definition. Then you
Only
can call
definition.
this in. Then you can call this interface in a class. Employee data. I'm naming the class employee data. Definition in8 and class. Then I will define a public section. Then just see how we are calling interfaces. If you go to your SE24, can you see that we have got a separate section interfaces here? How many interface can we call? A lot,
A
right?
lot, yes.
We can
Yeah, a
call
lot
a
of
lot
this.
of interfaces. Same stuff. You can use here interfaces keyword, interfaces, and you can call a lot of interfaces here. Since I have
Yeah.
only one, I am calling only one. Okay.
Yes.
Interfaces employee. Now I will create a implementation of this class. So class employee data implementation part. We'll go for AND class and I will write logic. So method. Just see how we are called writing logic here. Method, your interface name followed by tilde operator and then your method name. This is how a method of interface is called. This is the mandatory stuff. If you will not write this, you will get a syntax error.
Okay.
Now in between, we can write our logic. Select employee ID, employee name, department, manager column from your table name. So employee MP tab into table LTM table where where EMP ID in EMP ID, right? PMP
Yep.
ID. What is this PMP ID? The name of parameter. Okay. Name of the parameter. This LT table. This LT table will return our data display. Okay. Activate. Now we can create our object of our employee data class. So go for start of selection. You can create our object. So data LOBJ is equal to new and your new class name. So employee data. And then you can simply call the method. So LOBJ. What is the name of method? Can you tell me? What is the name of the method?
Employee.
Method name is employee. Rewatch it, Michael. Rewatch it. What is the name of method? Please focus on
Me
the screen.
method is display importing.
Display. Method is no. Importing is the keyword here. Method name is display. Okay.
Method
Method
name
name.
is display. Okay.
So with the with the with the interface, you need the interface to call the method of interface. So
Interface is employee. Method
yes,
is display.
So uh, interface name followed by tilde operator followed by method name, which is display. And then you can have your importing, first exporting. Let's pass the exporting. So exporting is my P employee ID, which is equal to my S employee ID, which I'm passing from here. We will need a bracket since we are passing in form of table. Then I will import LT table into my LT employee. Once it is done, I will display my data CL demo output, CL demo output via display method, and I will pass LT employee. Execute, execute. Just see. Can you see?
Yes.
This is how our interfaces actually work. I hope now this concept is clear.
Yes.
Okay. These are the features of your object-oriented programming. Highly important in interview. Anybody can ask you how you are going to implement, what are these features, how you are going to explain. So inheritance, final classes, abstract classes, polymorphism, interfaces. Okay. Very, very important concept. So are these features clear?
They are clear, but I have to watch the video again and practice it.
Yes. Then let's move on to next topic. So next topic is events in ABAP. Events. What is
Oh,
event? Object oriented ABAP.
okay.
We are in object oriented program. So event. What is an event? Event is something. Event is always trigger when we perform any action over the screen. We have seen it already.
Yeah.
We had a lot of event in our classical report. Then we had event in our module pool programming also. We also have event in object oriented programming also. Okay. So the use of event here is using events in object oriented programming method of one class can call the method of another class. Okay.
Yeah.
Method of one class can call the method of another class. This is event. So also there, so also we will have to, first we will have to raise the event, right? We will have to raise the event and then we will handle it. So when we perform anything, when we click on the back button, what is the meaning of it? It is raising a event, right? Raising a event. And in
Yes.
the background, we had in the PAI, process after input, we have our event handler logic, right? On that particular button, which is getting implemented. Same things here. In event for our object oriented, what you are going to see, so important note in case of object oriented programming, important rule is that one of the important rule of our object oriented programming is if something is getting triggered, or raised, then we must handle it. Okay, we must handle it. Same thing is there. We will raise the event and then we will handle it. So for your events, there are certain steps. Everything has been written in the document. You are just required to follow it. Okay. So steps for event handler. Steps for event handler. Steps for event handler. First thing, triggering method. So a method which will raise the event. Okay. A method which will raise the event. And second one, event handler method. A method which will handle the event. And third, we are required to register the event handler method using set handler statement. Three steps we are always required to follow for event handler. Okay. So triggering method. So a class in which we will have a triggering method. Then we will have an event handler method in another class. This is the use of events, calling uh, method of one class from method of another class. So triggering method we will have, then we will have the event handler method, and the third step will be we will register the event handler method using the set handler statement. So this is how you register it. This is how you register it using set handler keyword. So set handler keyword. So object one followed by this arrow, then your event handler method for object 2. Object 2. So here your set handler and for keyword are keywords, and your lobj1, so is the class, it is the class object in which your event handler is defined. Okay, it is the class object in which your event handler has been defined. So this is lobj1 and lo object 2. Local object 2 is the class object in which triggering method has been defined. Triggering method. So two object of two different classes, and set handler is simply registering the event handler. Okay.
Okay.
Is this thing clear?
It is.
So let's take a requirement. Let's take a requirement to implement the event by ourselves. Then we will also see some standard events using which are there in standard classes. We will use them for different kind of requirements. So I am taking a requirement today. My requirement is we will display the employee data based on the select option input given by the user. Okay. We will display the employee data based on the select option input given by the user. Okay. Now if user do not pass any input, if user do not pass any input, then what we will do, we will give a message on the selection screen, that is there is no input, right? To give a message on the selection screen, and we will achieve this requirement using events. Requirement using the concept of events. Okay, I hope this thing is clear. Is this requirement clear? Are you listening me? Hello? You are not audible, Michael.
It is clear. It is clear. It is clear. Sorry, I was adjusting my table.
So I will log into the SAP system. I will create a class with events name. I'll go for create button. Events in object oriented programming. The type I will give executable. Pass the package and TR. So first let's create again the same structure we need. So I'll go back to my previous program and I will bring the structure and those select option. Yeah, not extra interfaces, display. Select option. Bring them, paste here. So the concept of event says that we are going to call method of one class into by the method of another class, right? This is the concept
Yes.
of event.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll need two classes. I am defining two classes. So class 1 definition and class. I will have a method in it. I will have a method here, employee display.
Mm-hmm.
So public section. In the public section, I will define my methods. So methods, employee display, employee details. This is my methods. And then I will also define a event here. This is how we define a event. Events keyword. Okay. Events. Let's say I'm naming it no input. This is my class 1 definition. Then I will have a class 1 implementation also. Class 1 implementation and class.
Implementation and class.
Then I will write logic for my method. So method, employee details, and
Method
method.
or methods.
Methods is for defining. While writing
Okay.
logic, it will be method only. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So in it now, if your SEMP ID is initial, what is the meaning of initial? Is empty, right?
Yeah.
If it is empty, what I will do? I will raise my event. So raise the name of your event. So raise event no input. Okay. I
Mm-hmm.
am raising a event if there is no input. If there is an input, I will write my logic. So select employee ID, employee name, department, manager from your table name. So employee tab into table, LT employee, where EMPID in as EMPID, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is my one class. So I am raising event here in this method. Now I will have to handle it also, right? I will have to handle it. So
Yes.
this is how I will define another class. So class 2, definition, and class in it I will define a event handler method. So public section, in the public section we need methods. Let's say I'm naming it display message. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Display message. Here you will write the logic. So for event no input of class 1. This is how we define a event handler method. Okay,
Okay.
your handler method name followed by for event keyword, the name of the event of which class. So class 1, then we will write the event handler logic. So class 2, implementation, in it I will go for and class, the name of the method, so method, your display message, followed by and method, and in it I will write the logic. So let's display our message, or I will display our uh, message, please enter some input, please enter some input in select option. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I will type E. I'm displaying a message here. I can display using write statement also. It is telling me that there is error employee details.
Employee detail does not exist. Method employee detail does not exist.
Let's see, employee, oh, spelling mistakes. No issue. Now it is perfect.
Okay.
So now
I
I
see.
will go to start of selection.
Mm-hmm.
Start of selection, I will create object. I will create object of both classes I need. So hello obj1 is equal to new class 1, and hello obj2 is equal to new class 2,
Mm.
and then what we will do, Michael, just see the steps. We have a triggering method in class 1. We have a event handler method in class 2. Now we are required to register the event handler method using set handler statement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I will use here set handler keyword, set handler. Obj2 is my event handler object. So obj2, in it I have got my method. So display message for hello obj1. Okay,
Okay.
this is the third step. Then I can call my method to display my employee data. So hello obj1, it will call the employee details. In it, now if lt employee is not initial, that it is not empty, it is able to get some data, I will display it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So cl demo output, I will display lt employee. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
activate, execute, click on execute. Let's see, can you see this error? Please
Yeah,
enter
please
some
enter some.
input in select option. You have not given any input, you are getting the error. But if you will give some input 106, you will not get the error, but instead you will get the output.
The output. Okay.
This is the beauty. This is the beauty of events. We can call the methods of another class from one method of parent class.